Everybody, it's Mike Pingel. Welcome to the Mike Pingel Show. Today, I have my first Emmy winner. He won an Emmy, and he's on my show. Why? I don't know. Why did you come to my show?
Because you're a nice man?
I think I love this one, and I'm going to keep him around forever.
Taxi!
No. Anyway, thank you for watching. Welcome to my show. This is the wonderful, extraordinary Geoffrey Mark.
Thank you. He needed to look at the paper to get my name, but I am extraordinary.
They all know that I screw people's names up so bad.
I am very happy to be with all of you and with you, Mike. It's a pleasure.
I like your last name is Mark because I can't screw that up, can I? I can't.
You'd be amazed what I've gotten. Geoffrey is spelled Geoffrey. My very first nightclub act where I sang a whole act was at the original Duplex in Manhattan, Greenwich Village.
Wow.
And they gave me this long, we've had Joan Rivers and Woody Allen and Joanne Worley and Dick Cavett, and we have found a young man that we think is going to be a star of that kind of status. Here he is, Geoffrey Mark. And I came out and I said, you know, I could almost understand the Godfrey. Mm-hmm. But Mark?
Mark, yeah.
So I had 5 minutes about my name right up front. It gave me a platform, but I was 17. You know, it's like, really, give me a break here.
Sounds like I work there. I screw people's names up all the time.
Geoffrey, Mark. It's easy.
It's easy, especially when you're a best-selling novelist, author. His books include the Lucy Book.
The Lucy Book.
Ethel Merman, the biggest star on Broadway.
Is there a bigger star on Broadway than Ethel Merman? I mean, come on
now. No. My favorite is the Family Affair cookbook.
That came about as a favor to Kathy Garver.
Who's a wonderful person, by the way.
Kathy and I are friends, and she came to me with this idea, and she needed a few nuts and bolts tightened up. Well, she brought me an unassembled car, and I had to put it together, happily so, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, because I am a cook myself. I have wonderful recipes, and we took the idea of, let's present the 1960s recipes. All those wonderful things like Welsh rarebit and clams casino that you don't get in restaurants anymore. So we have recipes for those things. Everything is sort of, anytime food is mentioned in the show Family Affair, on any episode, we have a story about it and a recipe.
Nice.
And then my recipes, my own home family recipes. So you want good chicken soup and chopped liver, you know where to get them in the Family Affair cookbook.
So that's your favorite recipe in the book?
Chopped liver is my favorite almost anything. I make the best, my grandmother said, I make the best chopped liver she's ever had.
Aww.
Well, it's her mother-in-law's recipe, so it's my great-grandmother's recipe. But we're here to sell Ella Fitzgerald, not chopped liver.
That's my first question. Let me tell me a little bit about this fabulous, amazing book.
Tell you a little bit about it.
It's so thick.
Oh, size doesn't always matter, but in this case, I'm happy to brag, it's very large.
It does.
It's over 450 pages, there's over 250 photographs in it, and it is the one-stop shopping center, because I talk about every song she recorded, every album, things that were never even released, every concert all over the world, but then I talk about the woman. Who was she? How did she go from being Ella Jane Fitzgerald, unmarried parents, everything one had to go through in the 1930s as an African American, a mother who had a Portuguese lover, so there was interracial stuff in her own home, and being, as her own son says, being a woman in a fairly new industry. People don't realize recording industry was only about 10 years old when she got into it. And being a woman in a completely male-dominated industry and coming out on top of all of that.
Yeah.
And folks, I wish the story wasn't, but it is a story of incredible misogyny against women, incredible racism, torture, rape, abandonment, things that I think would have stopped a lesser person you cut your wrist open or you tie her to your recliner and say, life, you done me wrong, and blame life and be unhappy. Instead, she said, no, God gave me stuff, I'm going to take it and run with it. I'm going to have a life. And there's wonderful stories in there about Ella and Marilyn Monroe. They were really good girlfriends. They were doing the girl power thing long before anyone thought of it as a thing.
Wow.
They helped to each one empower the other. And Marilyn taught her how, as a woman, she could stand up for herself, that her drawing power and her stardom, no, stand up to bullies. Marilyn was not an empty-headed little ragamuffin.
Yeah.
There was a lot of thought in Marilyn. And she knew who she was, and she knew what she could accomplish. And she helped bring that out in Ella.
Wow.
So there's so much in here. It's really hard in 20 minutes to give you the breadth of what I've written about. But I think you'll really like it.
Yeah. Wow. So through music, is that how she got through her demons?
I believe so. She took all of that bad stuff and hid it away in a corner of her brain and her heart and her soul.
Yeah.
And just never revisited it. She never spoke about it. Even in later years when she was ill, even her own illnesses, she was a very shy, very private woman. So she's this dynamo on stage, and then she gets off stage and she loved you guys. She loved you more than you loved her. That's how much she loved you. But she wasn't going to sit down and have a cup of coffee and tell you about her romantic life. It was private. Her childhood was private.
Yeah.
I tell the stories here with permission. I tell them they're the truth and nothing but the truth. There's nothing in here that's baloney. I don't sensationalize anything. I don't write this like it's the National Enquirer. Not that there's anything wrong with the National Enquirer or other magazines like them.
I have some problems with them.
One of those national magazines chose this as their book of the month.
Oh, then we love those.
So we love the National Examiner very much because they chose my book as the book of the month. But I don't write it in that style. Everything is said like this is the truth, but it's said with respect and love that she deserves. You know, she allowed me into a small part of her life towards the end of her life, and I have become a part of her professional life because of the book, because I've written, I don't know how many CDs of her album notes have my name on it. That's what I'm Grammy nominated for.
Wow.
So she's a part of my life, I was a part of her life, and now we have this 28 years in the making book. But I think if you go on Amazon.com and order, you're really going to enjoy it. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
If you order now, there is a deluxe edition of the book.
I saw that.
Here's a story. It's like this couldn't possibly happen. I was doing a show at the Grammy Museum in April because this is Ella's 100th year, and Universal Music was there. And they said to me, Jeff, we don't know if you know this or not because you've worked for several of our divisions with Ella's music, but everything is under one umbrella now, except for one little 2-year period. Her entire music catalog is either owned or distributed by one company. Anyway, light bulb. Gee whiz, sir, wouldn't it be great? I know, I'm too old to carry off the innocent thing. I said, look, wouldn't it be great to put some of the music in the book? It took a lot of negotiation, but we have our 2 CDs. One is all studio work from 1935 to 1990. One is all live work from 1947 till 1983 is the latest live thing I have in there.
Wow.
Each one is 20 songs across her entire career, what I think is the best, and programmed, you'll have to trust me on this, exactly the way Ella would have chosen them, in exactly the order she would have sung them.
Nice.
So you really get a feeling of what she would have thought her best was and how she would have presented it to you. It's a little bit more money, it's a lot more money, but it's less expensive than going out and buying her music separately, and it's worth it because it's everything. It's the little girl to the old woman, all the eras of Ella together, and you can't get that anywhere else.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that would be nice.
Yes, I love
You can listen to it and read the book at the same time.
You could. I think you'd run out of songs before you run out of book, but this is a big, thick book.
I
But
said that before.
yes, it is. It's this is not something you're going to read in a sitting. It's not a book it's not one afternoon or one day at the beach. It's going to take you a while to get through it, but it's a page turner because every time you think there's too much about her life going on, we go to the music. Every time it just becomes a little too music heavy, there's something happening in her life. So I really think you get involved with her story, who she is as a woman who, African American and fought racism, a woman who fought for women at a time when no one was fighting for women's power, a woman who gave her money to Dr. Martin Luther King, gave her money to the Ella Fitzgerald Children's Center in Watts. She didn't even take money from other people. That was all her money directly.
Wow.
And now the Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation, which has a page in the book because some of the money from the deluxe edition is going to them. And to this day, her name and her legacy financially helps the working poor, which was very, very important to her.
Nice.
So, there are other performers who took great big bows for these things. Ella never took a bow. I'm telling you, she was the first.
Yeah.
She kicked this shy, private woman, just kicked down doors, and everybody else walked through them. So I think we in show business, people of any kind of minority, women especially, owe her a debt of gratitude and will be inspired by what they read because it inspired me to do what I do. I unfortunately share some of Ella's harsh childhood. And I know what it feels like to get slapped in the face and go, you know what? Too bad. I'm doing this anyway.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this, and these kinds of shows, oh golly, about 45 years now.
Wow.
I was literally a teenager when in fact, Ella and I got started professionally at the exact same age, 15. So now you know how old I am. If you can count.
He's 18 now.
I was told there was no math on this test. So I'm hearing from people who are coming to see me sing live that, yes, I don't do an imitation. I'm not doing drag. It's Geoffrey Mark with Geoffrey Mark's voice. But they get a feel, a flavor, a texture of what it might have been like to be in a room and hear her perform with these arrangements, this kind of music, and get a feel for it's different live. I don't know if you guys have a favorite singer out there or a favorite band, but when you go to see them, there's just something extra live. There's electricity.
The energy from the performer and the performance, and you get so much. They get stuff from us, the audience, and we get stuff from them. It's
Ella
amazing.
especially, this is not hyperbole or exaggeration. She absorbed the love and the energy from the people, internalized it, and then turned it around and sang out with that energy. Classic, iconic performances. Ella was the very, very rare performer who was better live than she was in the studio. Put her in front of an audience. I think I'm the same way. I've done a lot of television and film where there's one camera and there's no audience there, and I'm okay. I have talent for that. But put me in front of an audience, and I'm magic. And that sounds very egotistical. It's just the truth. I can't take a bow for it because I was born with that. Lots of performers were born more to be on stage with audiences than they were in front of a camera. I'm like that. Perhaps Ella was. Maybe you are. Maybe there's guys and girls out there who are loving performing live or doing karaoke because you love the feeling of being with an audience.
Yeah,
she lived for that. We talked about this before we came on the air with you guys, that towards the end of her life, Ella was very, very ill, with multiple health problems. And her doctors said, you must stop. You must stop touring 42 weeks a year, 2 shows a night, 6 shows a day.
No.
And her answer was, I could die on the toilet. I'd rather die on stage. Yeah. And you know what? I feel the same way.
Everybody, those who are in the entertainment business, I believe, feel the exact same way.
It is the truth.
It
was her life. It is what she lived for. She had love. She had romances. She had a son. She had a couple of marriages. She didn't live for that. She lived for us. Yeah. She lived for us. If I had an hour and 20 minutes, I could tell you stories of things she did on stage because of us. You know, those of us who were rabid fans, but I don't know anybody who wasn't once they were exposed to her music.
Yeah.
You went to an Ella concert, it wasn't like going to a Barbra Streisand concert where it's tons and tons of gay men fawning all over, or a certain metal band where everyone's dressed like the band and they're all showing up. It was black and white and Latino and Asian and straight and gay and Jewish and Catholic and Protestant and agnostic and young and old. It was, she's across the board. There's no one set, oh, those are Ella's fans. No, we are Ella's fans. And she loved that. It was inclusive. She was inclusive.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why she's an icon. It's not just her voice, and yet her voice is completely unimitatable. Nobody can do her. No one can do an impression of her. Marilyn Michaels, the wonderful impressionist, she said, I can do Carol Channing, I can do Ethel Merman, I can't do Ella. Nobody could.
Well, I have a couple questions. What is your favorite Ella song?
My favorite Ella song is a song that it's not one of her famous ones, so it's not a Tisket a Tasket, it's not those things. Ella recorded live in Montreux, Switzerland in 1977, a song written by a friend of mine. The friend is Paul Williams.
Okay.
And the song, nobody's heard of it. It's called Ordinary Fool, and only Ella and Karen Carpenter have recorded it.
Wow.
And I sing it in my shows because I think it's the best torch song of the last 25 years of the 20th century. And Ella heard it, and she saw the potential, and she began to sing it, and she sang it from 1977 on for the rest, like I think the last concert, she's still singing Ordinary Fool. So that's my favorite song of Ella's. It's not my favorite song in the world, but it's my favorite song of Ella's.
Excellent. And when did you fall in love with her?
Late. I don't know what's wrong with me. You know, slap me around. I don't know what's wrong with me. Certainly I'm a historian of show business, and I have been since my eyes were open. I've known since I was 2 years old this was for me. But somehow Ella eluded me until 1977. So it's still quite a while ago. But I was already almost 20 before I saw her. And she was on, Dinah Shore had an afternoon talk show called Dinah Exclamation Point. And she had a show about the First Ladies. And Lucille Ball was on it as the First Lady of Television. And Beverly Sills was on as the First Lady of Opera. And Elizabeth Taylor was on as the First Lady of Movies.
Wow.
And Ella was on as the First Lady of Song. And I sat there with a friend of mine, and I watched Ella sing Ordinary Fool and another Duke Ellington song. And I just, who is she? I must know everything about her now. And thank you, Dinah, for introducing me. And also, when I was working on this book, it's many, many years, Dinah was ill with cancer and couldn't be interviewed, but she arranged for me to view all of her shows with Ella for free.
Oh, nice. Paid
for them to all be screened for me so that I could write about them correctly and with respect. So thank you, Dinah, twice.
Thank you, Dinah.
For bringing me Ella and bringing Ella to me.
Excellent. Now, where can everybody find you?
Well, I live in Rancho Mirage, California.
Not stalk you.
I'm kidding. I'm single
His
and taking
phone number
applications.
is... What? They didn't hear that.
I'm single and taking applications.
I love it.
See, there's hope for everybody. At my age, if I still have hope, kids, there's hope for you out there too. I'm at the best place to find the book, to make sure you get it and that it gets shipped, is Amazon.com, the regular version and the deluxe version. And you can find me on Facebook at Geoffrey Mark. I've already spelled my name once, GeoffreyMark. It's right here in the book.
We'll have links.
And we'll have links, and you can find me and ask me questions. I'll be all over the country singing and doing book signings. So if you want something in person, you can find me. I will, and I'm serious about this. Those of you who want signed, autographed copies, if you contact me on Facebook, we'll make that happen, and we'll get it out to you. As long as you pay money. You got to pay money for them.
Money.
As long as you pay money, I will inscribe anything you like. We'll get this book to you one way or another. But it just came out last week, and it's already, like every place we go, it's selling out. So Amazon, probably the best place to get it. I will be at the Glendale Library in 2 weeks from today, whenever this is being aired.
Okay.
I don't know when this is being
It's tomorrow.
Very Carol Channing. I don't know when this is going to be aired. Alrighty, so 2 weeks from yesterday, I'll be at the Glendale Library in Los Angeles. 2 days from yesterday, I'll be at Palm Desert in California at the Palm Desert Library singing and taking questions and talking. And then I'll be in New York at the Triad Theater right at the end of April. I'll be in Baltimore at Germano's nightclub. Those are the places that are coming off the top of my head. There are more, but I'll be someplace near you soon. Look for it in the paper, look for it online, look for it on Facebook. You won't, I tell you, I wouldn't lie to you. I can't promote something I don't believe in. I really believe in this book. I'm so proud of it.
Amazing.
No, I've written some books, kids. I like to take them back. Not everything is wonderful. Everybody has a bum once in a while. This is the real thing. You will love it. And whoever is your favorite performer, there's a story about them because she worked with everybody. So if you love Marilyn Monroe, Marilyn's in here. If you like Frank Sinatra, it's in here. If you like David Crosby, it's in here. If you like Lucille Ball, it's in here. It's in here.
Here.
This is a slice of 20th century show business history. And I like to write about people who are the very, very best at what they do. I've written about Lucille Ball. I've written about Ethel Merman. Ella Fitzgerald. There's Ella Fitzgerald, and then there's everybody else. There's wonderful everybody else's. But everybody, she's the high watermark. And you've got that going for you. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being my guest of the show.
My pleasure.
My first Emmy winner. Thank you for watching the Mike Pingel Show. Please share this with everybody so they know the beauty of this book and everything about it. And thank you.
Much obliged.
Thank you.